Hello students and welcome to Math Weekly number 16. In this video we will work on comparing the slopes of two related relationships. Before we begin with our new skill, let's review slope. Remember, we need some background information to understand slope. In a relationship, the x value is the set of all inputs and the y value is the set of all outputs. Slope, by definition, is the constant rate of change by which a relationship changes. How does the y value change when the x value changes? Slope is a type of unit rate. For a review on how to calculate slope, rewatch Math Weekly number 15. Our new skill is going to be comparing the slopes of two different relationships. So our first step is going to be to determine the slope of the first situation. Our second step is to determine the slope of the second situation. And then our third step is to compare the two slopes in context to how the two situations are related. Let's look at a practice problem. So it says, Mrs. Martin is in need of a plumber to run some pipes for her new house. There are two certified plumbers in the area, Fancy Yancey's Plumbing and TR Plumbing. Both businesses charge the same amount per hour for labor, but a different charge for materials. Fancy Yancey's Plumbing charges customers a total charge, which they call Y, based on the number of hours worked, X, according to this equation. This goes with Fancy Yancey's. TR Plumbing charges customers according to the relationship depicted in the chart below, with X representing the number of hours worked and Y representing the total charge for a customer's bill. So TR Plumbing's is here in this chart. We are asked to compare the plumbing company's charges for their hourly labor charges. So the slope is the hourly labor charges. This is an example of 3 of 4 ways that slope can be depicted. We have this real-world situation, we have an equation, and we have a table. In an equation, the constant rate of change is the coefficient of x. Every time x increases, it's going to be $50 more. So $50 is Fancy Yancey's hourly labor charges. I'm just going to put FY for Fancy Yancey's. Now, when we look at the table, which is for TR Plumbing, we need to look at how much the Y increases. So between 200 and 350, it went up $150. But between the X for 3 hours versus 6 hours, it was 3 hours. So 150 divided by 3 hours is $50 every hour. So you can see our answer is TR Plumbing and Fancy Yancey's Plumbing charge the same amount as their hourly labor charge. They both charge $50 per hour. We got the 50 from the coefficient of x, and we got the 50 by taking how much the y increases divided by how much the x increases. Let's look at one more example. Aaron is researching cell phone companies. There are 2 companies in his area that provide cell phone service, Company S and Company T. Both companies charge their customers a flat rate monthly charge and a certain amount of money per minute the cell phone is in use. The charges for both companies are graphed on the coordinate plane below. We need to identify and compare the slopes for both companies. What we're looking at here is when we use minutes, how much does the cost go up, or how much does each minute cost? So let's begin with Company S. If we look at Company S's line, which is right here, we can see that it starts at $15, so no matter how many minutes you use, you have to pay $15. But if you use 20 minutes, it costs $20. So you can see that the cost went up $5 when we used 20 minutes. So it was $5 for 20 minutes. Now remember, slope is a unit rate, so we need to divide this so we can see how much 1 minute costs. So 5 divided by 20 makes 0.25, or 25 cents for 1 minute. Now we need to do the same process for company T. Company T begins at $5. Similarly, after 20 minutes, you have to pay $20. But it went from $5 to $20. That's an increase of $15 for using those 20 minutes. So if we take 15 divided by 20, we get 0.75. So this company charges 75 cents for 1 minute. So our conclusion is company S charges 25 cents per minute and company T charges 75 cents per minute. Therefore, company S charges 50 cents less per minute, or we could say, therefore, company T charges 3 times more per minute than company S. Either one of those would be accurate conclusions. So to summarize our situation in Math Weekly number 16, there are 3 steps to comparing slope. Determine the slope of the first situation, determine the slope of the second situation, and compare the 2 slopes in context to how the 2 situations are related.